do that. And yes, I'll be checking the chat. Or do you want to speak? Ikenna, you can unmute your mic. I mean, we still have like 9 minutes to the session, so let's have a quick chat. Okay. All right. You can unmute yourself. Let's talk. I've already heard from Nelson. So please tell me about yourself, your name, where you're joining us from, and your career path in the chats. All right. Thank you. While you're doing that, I'm just going to give you like a highlight of what you'll be expecting tonight or this morning, afternoon, whatever time zone you're joining me from. Okay. So today's project showcase is going to be a very interesting one. Why do I say that? Personally, anything that involves machine learning, data science, I am all for it. Okay. So for people that are not data scientists in the call with us to hear, I just want to give you guys like an insight to what you'll be expecting. Okay, how many of you use Netflix? Just give me a thumbs up if you use Netflix a lot. I'm not a fan of movies, but I know there are quite a number of persons that love Netflix. Okay, so I'm sure you might be wondering, how does Netflix recommend shows that it feels you would love, right? And most of the time, Netflix recommendations are always precise. I mean, you just see a particular movie on Netflix, you'll be like, I mean, this is something I might be interested in. Do you think it's by chance? I'm going to explain how machine learning works, right? So, every platform you use collects data from you. And this is why, personally, anything that involves data, I am so interested in it, right? Because data is one field that once you get into, there is there is an endless loop of opportunities. Okay. So what Netflix does is that it gathers your data, right? You might be scrolling, you think you're just scrolling. Even if you spend as much as 5 seconds on a particular advert, it's tracking that time, right? So let's say you click on a particular movie like 3 times, or maybe you don't even watch it, you feel like you're just scrolling through, right? It's taking all this data and it's now going to recommend it they
Hi, good evening, everyone. So sorry about that. I think Victory is having issues with her internet.
right,
Oh,
I
she's
had
back.
to I had to, yeah, sorry about that.
All right.
Okay. So I was just giving you guys a gist about Netflix, okay? All right. Now, I want you to know that that particular example can be applied to businesses. And this is why businesses hire data scientists, right? Because they understand that data, I mean, we generate data on a daily basis. And these businesses understand that only people that know how to manipulate and work with data would be able to make sense of it. Okay. So for this particular project, our data scientists solve a very crucial problem in an e-commerce business, right? So this is a jewelry business and they solved a very critical problem. I won't go so much into the gist. We're just going to go straight into it. So what exactly are we discussing today? Today, if you've not, okay, First of all, if this is your first session with us, give me a thumbs up. If you've never attended any of our sessions before, just give me a thumbs up. All right. So I'll be introducing Amdari to for starters. Then I'll one of our interns, a data scientist, is going to present what a particular project he has worked on so far, which is the jewelry optimization project, right? You get to see that and you get to understand that what you'd have to do coming on board with us. Okay. Now, how does the internship work? I would walk you through exactly how the internship works and what you'll be expecting. And finally, we have a very special offer for you, especially those of you on this call with me today. Okay, so who is speaking with you? Who am I? I'm sure some of you introduced yourself in the chat, but I'm just going to go ahead and introduce myself. I am Victory, and I'm a data-driven growth strategist, okay? I love working with professionals like you. I help you guys transition seamlessly into the tech space through expert career advice and guidance, okay? So during the course of this session, you get to ask whatever questions you want to ask, and I'll be here to give you answers to those questions, okay? So enough about me. We didn't come here to talk about me, okay? All right, so I'm pretty sure there are some of you on this call that you've gone through a number of courses. You've taken courses, you've taken different boot camps, you've applied for several jobs, and it looks like nothing is forthcoming. And you might be wondering, what exactly am I doing wrong? What is that thing that I have not yet done? I mean, you would expect that immediately after your boot camp, you just land a job, right? But no, in the real world, that is not how it happens. That is not it in the real world, okay? Now, in real sense, recruiters expect you to have experience. Even if you're coming on board for an entry-level role, they expect that you should have experience, okay? You will see certain job roles, they would say must have 2 years of experience, must have at least 1 year of experience and the rest of it. And you might ask yourself, I mean, I'm transitioning from another career path. How exactly do these guys expect me to have experience? Now, that particular gap is what Amdari is here to bridge, okay? And how do you now gain experience when nobody is willing to hire you to have that experience, right? It's a cycle, and some of us are stuck in that endless loop of I need a job, but they expect me to have experience, but I don't have experience. How do I get experience? Like, it's just an endless cycle, okay? All right, and we are here on this call today to gain more clarity and understand how project-based learning would help you in your career, okay? All right, I am here to tell you that a major reason you are finding it difficult to land a job is because you lack relevant work experience. Now, I'll be sharing a lot of nuggets on this call, and I don't want you to miss any of it. So please fill the attendance form my colleague has dropped in the chat. All right. So you get access to all the materials. Okay. So the attendance form is in the chat. Just take out a few seconds of your time to fill it. Okay. As I was saying, a major reason why you're finding it difficult to land a job, especially in tech, I believe this goes for all other career paths too, but tech is special because in tech, you need experience, and there is no two ways about it. Without experience, to be so hard for you to get into the job market, right? For you to even land a job. They need to be sure that once you're coming on board, you'll be able to get the job done. You'll be able to deliver results. Okay. I mean, you could think, just try putting yourself in the recruiter's shoe for just 2 seconds. Would you hire someone that you're not sure they can deliver? No. Instead, you would look for someone that has probably done what you're looking to get done before and has proven results. That way, you'd save time, you'd save money, and I mean, it's to get the gap between real world learning and between theoretical learning and real world hands-on experience. Okay, so Amdari is not a training platform. I want to iterate on this. Amdari is not a training platform. All right. So what we do for you is that we help you gain real world experience by getting you into real business problems and challenges. You're working on real business problems, you're solving business problems, and you're gaining experience by solving these problems. Okay. And you can see the specific career paths we focus on: data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analytics, and cybersecurity, which has been broken down to three major aspects. Please, if you're joining us, do well to fill the attendance form. Okay. So, how are our interns gaining this hands-on experience, right? I already mentioned that we are not training you. Instead, we are helping you to gain real-world experience by immersing you with real business challenges. This project would be showcasing today is a real business challenge, and you get to see exactly how our interns solved the particular problem. Okay, so the onboarding session, you've registered for the program. Let's say you're registering for the April cohort. You get onboarded, you get to meet your team leads, you also get to see your team, right? Because you're not working by yourself, you're working in a team, just like you would work in a real business setting. Okay. Now, you might have to work, depending on the time span, maybe 6 to 10 projects. Your project one would give you the project brief and a little bit about the company. You would have a document containing the business question, everything you would need to solve concerning that business, right? And the tool stack you'll be using, right? So we now assign you guys, right? You've been assigned to teams. You now know, okay, how many phases does this project have? Phase one, phase two, phase three, depending on what the project entails, right? And you get assigned to it. Maybe your team, you're in phase one, you guys get to do this, and you know that you have a timeline for whatever you're doing, just like you would in a real business setting. Okay. We now start reviewing your CV from as far as the second month of your internship. Why? Because you would start applying for jobs, right? By the second month, you should have finished at least 2 projects, and we would review your CV, revamp it to show those projects you've worked on. And also, you start joining mentorship sessions, right? So I'm just giving you a brief understanding of what these interns are doing before our intern comes on board to give you a more in-depth presentation as to the project he worked on. Okay, so our interns get to work in a cross-functional team, just like real companies, and they are gaining problem-solving skills. They are gaining stakeholder management. They would learn to manage stakeholders, because at the end of the day,
Hello, Victory. Are you there? Can anyone hear me? I need to be sure it's not Victory's network.
Yeah, I
Yes, we
can
can
hear
hear you.
you.
Okay, okay. Victory, can you hear us? If you can, your network is bad. So Ozzy, please take it up for her. I think her network is bad. While we wait for her to sort her internet. Okay, I think she has left. Okay, please let's give her about a minute to sort her internet. But in the meantime, hi Ozzy, can you confirm that you can hear me? Hello, Ozzy. All right. Please let's wait
Uh,
for her to just a minute, she'll be back. I'm trying to reach her now.
All right. Had to make sure. Okay. So I just want to be sure our intern is available. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So for those of you that didn't start with us when I started the conversation, I was just trying to explain how data science works. Okay. So I was using Netflix as an example, right? So with Netflix, what they do is they gather your data and recommend TV shows based on your engagement with the platform, right? Now, replicating that to a business setting, this particular project was for a jewelry-based business industry, right? So the kind of project it concerns demand forecasting, right? So we gather data on this particular business. You get to know the kinds of jewelry they are buying from your data set. You know exactly what they are buying, the jewelries that they are no longer buying, or the ones that isn't like doesn't really get purchased as much, or what season do they usually have more customers and the rest of it, right? So the particular problem that this business was facing was that it relied on manual adjustments, right? So let's say people buy more jewelry during February season, for example, right? So it doesn't automatically adjust to the demand of a particular kind of industry. The price of that jewelry won't adjust to the demand of a particular jewelry, right? You have to manually impute that, okay, this is the demand. Maybe okay, let me increase this particular price for this jewelry because it's in high demand. You're doing it manually, okay? And also, if you increase a particular jewelry's price so high without informed decision making, you might scare away people from buying it because you don't actually know the demand, right? Or if you bring it too low, you might be losing out on a lot of profit. So this was the problem, right? And this business struggled really, they really struggled because based on the market trends, demands, competition, they weren't able to adjust these prices accordingly. Okay. And without data driven insights, they were losing customers and profit at the end of the day. So what is the solution our interns rendered for this business? They built a machine learning model to optimize pricing strategies in real time. So you remember what I mentioned about Netflix using machine models um to bring up recommended shows for you. Now in this kind of situation, this model would optimize the pricing of these jewelries based on the demand, based on the whatever circumstances, maybe market trend or competition. It just optimizes it automatically. Okay. So we have our data science intern on board, Ibrahim. He's going to present this project and you'll get to see the end-to-end of what exactly happened in the whole process, starting from the analysis to building the machine learning model, everything concerning this particular project. All right. So Ibrahim, just give me a thumbs up if you are here with us. He should be here. All right, lovely. All right, so let me know if you can actually share your screen. Just give me a thumbs up if you can share or if you can. All right, lovely. So I'm just going to stop sharing so you can go ahead and share your screen and present to us. Okay, you have 10 minutes. All right, Ibrahim, can you unmute? Just making sure you have the settings for that. Can you unmute your mic?
Now,
Okay, I think I can hear you. Hi. Okay, so let's just give him a bit of time to okay. Let me know when you're ready, Ibrahim. You can give me a thumbs up if you are ready. All right, lovely.
I
Sorry? Yes, I can actually hear you. I was hearing you earlier, but it wasn't so clear. Okay. Are you facing any challenge?
you hearing me now? Am I clear enough?
Yes, you're clear right now.
Okay.
I can hear you clearly.
All right. Let
Yes.
me share my screen so that we get on with it. Okay, I think I want to, I don't know, let me see. I wanted to take control of a specific screen. So do kindly pardon me. Let me see if I can share my entire screen. And if it is the entire screen, then go straight to, all right, I think I'm sharing my entire screen. Okay. All right. So if everyone is hearing me, can I just get a thumbs up? Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. I have, okay, I have 10 minutes and I hope to be quick enough to use the 10 minutes to make my presentation. So once again, my name is Ibrahim Ismaila and I'm a data science consultant with Amdari. I'm undergoing the Amdari internship experience program. This is one of the projects we worked on. It's also interesting to share with us that this same project is on the Amdari platform. But if you go through the project on Amdari platform, at the end of the day, you notice that what I worked on, there were a bit of some improvements and some additions, and that is what we'll be seeing at the later end. But every guided step from the project on the platform is what I use. And the reason why I said I made a bit of some improvement is that I use much more models and I use some different models from what we have on the platform. So once again, jewelry price prediction using machine learning. This is enhancing profitability and competitiveness at the Gemini Emporium. So this is the framework and process that I went through my team to carry out this project. So the business introduction, Gemini Emporium is a global jewelry leader. It excels in craftsmanship and innovation. But of course, like we were told earlier on, Gemini Emporium struggles with pricing inefficiencies. Hence, there has been a bit of rapid growth, which has led to inconsistent pricing, overpricing, and underpricing, risking customer loss and a bit of high profit margins and a reduction in the same profit margins. This is because of the lack of data-driven strategies. So our business aim and objectives. It's important to note that there is a need for Gemini Emporium to profit from its investments and remain competitive through optimal pricing for all classes of customers. It's important to share with us here that, businesses, especially the jewelry businesses, for most organizations that are carrying out these businesses, they tend to cater for all classes of customers, and that is what Gemini Emporium is known for. Hence, in order for Gemini Emporium to be able to profit from its investments and remain competitive, there is a need to leverage artificial intelligence to optimize its pricing for jewelry products and then to also predict optimal jewelry prices based on its product attributes. The project rationale: why jewelry price optimization with machine learning? One is to maximize revenue. We'll be using data-driven pricing, or data-driven pricing ensures optimal revenue generation, and that is what we'll be using. Two, to ensure a great competitive edge. Dynamic pricing enables quick adaptation to market changes. Three, improve customer retention. Four, efficient decision making. Five, for actionable insights. This will result to machine-driven price optimization and help Gemini Emporium to maximize its profit and to remain competitive. It's important to also share with us at this point that for machine learning projects, it is not in all cases when one carries out a machine learning project that one may tend to obtain a high performance. And as we go through this project, we will see how the data set that has been available for the project is helping us to carry out our machine learning model. So the data set that we use contain the following features. The feature includes, you can see a snippet, order date time, order ID, purchased product ID, quantity of SKU in the order, category ID, category alias, brand ID, price in US dollar, user ID, product gender, that is for male or female. Then we have main color, we have main meta, and then we have the main gem. Of course, this is our target variable, the price in USD. So after we obtained our data, the next thing that we had to carry out after understanding what our data contain, we went on further to carry out our data pre-processing. And in data pre-processing, we did the data cleaning, which included trying to handle some missing values. And then in our data cleaning phase, this is what we got. And these are the missing values. We had some few missing values in category ID, some in category, some in brand ID, some in prices, and then some in target gender, and so on and so forth, as we can see in our data presentation snippet here. Now, the next phase, after cleaning our data, because when we got when we look at the missing values contained in our data, we felt this missing value was not something that could affect our data set. So we had to let go of what we had. The exploratory data analysis. This is the distribution of jewelry prices. And the distribution of this data is skewed to the right, showing us that this is a positive skewed data with a long tail towards higher prices. This is what we can see. This is a right skewed data for the distribution of the jewelry prices, suggesting the presence of outliers or imbalanced target variable. Hence, the mean is considerably larger than the median, further emphasizing the skewness. The high Q-taxes indicate, these are statistical terms, of course. Now, the high Q-taxes indicates a distribution with more extreme values than a normal distribution, which aligns with the observed skewness. So this is giving us an idea of what the jewelries that Gemini Emporium has in its store. Gemini Emporium still have jewelry that are not too expensive. There are jewelry for the lower class, there are jewelry for the middle class. But more of the jewelries that Gemini Emporium has is for the high class. We have our gender distribution analysis. Of course, you can see that the gender distribution analysis is biased towards the female gender. This is giving us an idea on how Gemini Emporium may focus, or how they will have to focus on the female gender, and then how they will find a way to focus on the male gender. Then we have category distribution insights, category counts. Now, in the categories, we have earrings, we have rings, we have pendants, we have bracelets, we have necklace, we have brooch, we have souvenir, and then we have stud. This is the distribution. The distribution shows us that earring and rings is topping the category count, of course, followed by the pendant, and then the least are the stud and the souvenir. Then the jewelry prices by category. For the jewelry price by category, this is the distribution of the jewelry prices by category, showing us the outliers that is contained in each category. And the one with the higher outliers, just like we have seen in the distribution of the jewelry, where earring and ring are the highest category counts, we also notice that they have the highest, the outliers. You can see the outliers here for the two categories. Of course, other jewelry categories have a bit of some outliers, but if you compare the outliers with these two categories, you see that these two categories has the highest. You can see the pricing of 30 USD and 35 USD. This, or it's between 27 USD and 35 USD. So we went further to carry out our correlation to see how our individual features within the data set correlate with the price in USD. Generally, we notice, if we look at our heat map, we notice that the correlation or the correlation values are very, very low compared to the price in US dollar. And so we needed to set correlation limits. This setting of correlation limits is to help us focus on the most significant relationships. And so in setting the limits, we had our upper limit to be 1 and our lower limit to be 0.2. So as for us to be able to understand the relationship between our categories and the prices. So the key findings in our insight from the data exploration and analysis, the data quality, this shows that there are data quality challenges within our data set from the exploratory data analysis. The analysis is affected by missing data and is addressed. Of course, we address our missing data by filling in with the missing values, like I said earlier on. And then the jewelry category data had some inconsistencies and some errors. The target gender column shows infrequent categories and values. Earlier on, you could see how the target gender, both the male, how they behave. And then the SKU quantity feature holds the same value. SKU quantity is just 1 or through. It holds the same value for all observations. Hence, it does not provide any useful information for analysis. The target variable behavior. The target variable, which is the price in USD, is observed to be skewed, which we have seen from our distribution chart. And then we also see that our feature relationships from the heat map, generally the features in the data set appear to be relatively independent with no much relationship to the price in USD, which is good for analysis, of course. However, the price in USD is found to have no strong relationship with any of the other features, hence suggesting that predicting prices accurately may be more challenging. It's important to bring our attention to this. This would be quite challenging because of the kind of data that Gemini Emporium had gathered. Now, the conclusion on this insight, the quality of the data significantly impacts the accuracy of our analysis and any subsequent predictions or decisions. Understanding the distribution and relationship within the data is crucial for building effective models. And also addressing data quality issues and handling data imbalances are critical steps in ensuring reliable and meaningful results. So we went on ahead to still carry out our model development. And in model development, we use decision tree, we use linear regression, we use CatBoost, extra trees, and other boosts. And of course, we use neural networks. In fact, we use over 10 different models for this. But these are the models that perform better. That is why we are representing them here. So the model that performed best among this model is the decision tree with an R2 score of 28%, which is very, very low for anyone who is aware of machine learning. So, but we didn't have to stop there because we still needed to do something. Gemini Emporium expected that we share with them our report and what we had come about. So the model development performance, you can see this is our model, the CatBoost pipeline, the linear regression pipeline, the AdaBoost pipeline, extra trees pipeline, decision tree pipeline. See the scores. Our main performance metric is the RMC. The RMC, generally, if you look at them, all of them are too high. They are all very, very high. We needed an RMC score that is lower. Of course, you can see that our R2 score for the best model is 0.28 after we tuned the model. This is what we obtained, 0.28 with an MAE, mean absolute error of 0.42, and an RMSC of 0.88 after tuning the extra trees. This, for our model development, the relationship between the predictors and the target variable may be highly complex from what we have seen, which require more sophisticated models or techniques. Of course, it is more of the techniques that this machine learning project will be requiring. So the key takeaway, decision tree appears to be the most promising model based on its performance of 28% compared to other models. Further investigation into feature engineering and potential model enhancement is needed for this. But of course, we needed to go ahead with our model explainability and business interpretability. So the top features for the model included the main color in the main color of the of our jewelry. We have the category, which is the necklace. These are the top features that contributed to the model performance. We have main gem, we have main color, and then we have main meta. These are all of them for our feature importance. Now,
hi guys, can you still hear Ibrahim?
Sorry?
Yes, we can hear Ibrahim. Ibrahim, we can hear you. Please proceed.
All right. Thank you. So sorry. All right. So we went ahead to still develop our, we deployed the model to see how the data set is performing. And this is the model that has been deployed. This is the link to the deployment. I wouldn't want to click on this in case it may delay us, but I've already deployed it here. This is our deployment. We deployed the model on Streamlit. Streamlit is one of the platforms for model deployment. Now, because of because of what we got from, because of the low model performance, this low model performance that we have here, it's important for us to know that this prediction will not be the best of prediction. And that is why we have some recommendations that we'll be looking at quickly. So if I click on, you can see this is my category. If I click on any of the category, let's assume I click on earring, the brand ID, because they all have their brand ID, any brand ID. I can choose either male or female. Of course, in our, we decided to just provide for a unisex just in case. Then we have our color. I can choose silver. I can choose our gem. I may choose ruby. And then the months, because we did a feature engineering where we included the months, maybe the period within the time or the season, to know how it contributes to pricing in Gemini Emporium. So I'm choosing April, that's month 4, and then the day, we have the highest days in a month is 31. So maybe I choose, let's say I choose the 12th day, and then I will click on predict. But like I said, this will predict very, very low prices. So look within here, there is no prediction. As soon as I click on predict, you see predicted jewelry price of 0.15. This is very, very low, showing that the kind of data set that we have, it's not really helping. But of course, our user interface for this deployment application also shows that you can, if you have maybe several, you have several jewelries that you've already typed in a CSV or in an Excel file, you can upload. And then when you upload, you also go ahead and predict. Of course, what you are uploading should just be these jewelry attributes: the category, brand ID, target, gender, main color, main metal, main gem, other amount. These should be the categories in your CSV or Excel file that you can upload. So, having seen that our prediction is very, very low, what is the recommendations? The recommendations include enhanced data collection. Gemini Emporium should gather more comprehensive data on customers' behavior, competitor pricing. They should be able to understand how to gather better data, and then market fluctuations to help refine this machine learning model that we have created. Implement dynamic pricing. Now, Gemini needs to adjust prices in real time based on demand, seasonality, and inventory levels. Remember, when we were discussing our business problem, we said these, Gemini, because of their expansion, it seems maybe the way they have been patronizing maybe how customers have been patronizing Gemini Emporium, the way they tend to give prices really may be confusing. It's not like the prices are stable. They tend to change, and that is not really helpful for our machine learning, because machine learning, the model need to learn from patterns in the data, but the data set we had it's not too good in terms of the kind of patterns that we have. So mitigate risk, implement. Of course, this is just to advise Gemini Emporium to ensure that they do not leave this machine learning, but ensure that they bring out good data in order to continue with the machine learning and AI pricing, in machine learning and AI development, to help pricing in order to optimize their business margins and minimize price wars. And of course, this is another recommendation: expand product offering. We encourage Gemini Emporium to diversify beyond rings by analyzing customer data and market benefits. Now, the key benefits to this is that it will help.
Good evening.
It will help improve
This
revenue.
Is Uche calling from Amgari. Am I on to Ike Direct?
Hello.
Don't
Hello?
worry, go ahead. Go ahead. She has been muted. You can go ahead.
All right. Thank you. So the key benefits include improved revenue forecasting. Now, if Gemini Emporium gather better data, it will help to improve revenue forecasting. Now, machine learning and AI power predictions enable proactive revenue planning. That is the truth. So it will also enhance competitiveness. Now, with better data gathering and a good AI and machine learning model, it will help Gemini Emporium to gain a competitive market edge with data-driven pricing strategies. Automated pricing, this is the idea, and this is why we want Gemini Emporium to go on ahead to ensure that they gather their data, they gather good data, which will enhance our machine learning model. In conclusion, this project has, we've been able to successfully develop a machine learning model that predicts jewelry prices based on the available attributes, which included the category, main gem, and the metal of the different jewelries. And then if this model is refined and deployed into Gemini Emporium's operations, Gemini Emporium can automate its pricing decisions which will ensure fair and competitive pricing while also maximizing its profitability. Best practices such as rigorous model evaluation, this is for the machine learning or the technical team to take note of. And it's also important to share with us that we did our model tracking. This is for the machine learning engineer, of course, like I said, we did our model tracking. All of those models that I mentioned earlier, we did a model tracking in order for us to have our model automate the tracking automated instead of the manual tracking using machine learning or ML flow, that's machine learning flow or the ML flow. And then, of course, we had used the user-friendly Streamlit interface, just like I showed us, to facilitate easy interaction and exploration of the model's predictions. Now, in this solution will help empower Gemini Emporium to make data-driven pricing decisions with confidence, leading to improved business outcomes. So these are the project links. We will make it available for us, and so that anyone who wants to go through the project and also follow through can easily have access. Thank you, and I think we're available for questions and answers. Thank you. Thank you
so much, Ibrahim. If you found that project interesting, just you can use the emojis in the presentation and clap for him, please. I was blown away. Please clap for him. All right, so you can stop presenting, Ibrahim, and I'll just go ahead with my own presentation. Okay. All right. Now, Ibrahim's presentation was just a tip of the iceberg, right? This is what our interns are working on. I know that someone has a question. We'll get to the question and answers parts real soon, right? Now, if you want to get access to these materials, just make sure that you fill the attendance form, and my colleague has dropped that in the chat. So if you need access to any of these resources, it's available. You can, check it out. Just fill the attendance form, okay? So having a project like this on your portfolio is going to make you stand out in the job market. And I'm not mincing words. You heard the end-to-end flow of how that project was conducted and the business problem that project solved, okay? You can see that they actually did this work. And if he were to have an interview tomorrow and a question comes up, tell us how you were able to solve a business problem, or he has something like that to back it up, right? So he has gained hands-on experience in machine learning, not just regular training, watching movie videos on YouTube and the rest. He actually built a machine learning model, and that's what makes one data scientist stand out from the other. Honestly, hands-on experience, right? And this project, he had to work in a team. It wasn't just a personal project. It wasn't a one-off project or none of that, right? And just like a real corporate environment, you would work in a team, right? And it's not just theory. And this project is the kind of project that you would be proud of to showcase on your portfolio. I mean, you guys see a lot of copy sales, capstone project, and the rest of it. Would you be proud to show a recruiter that kind of project? No, right? So this kind of project gives you confidence to say, yes, I did this. And if you meet a business tomorrow and they have such a problem, you'll be able to replicate the same process for them, right? And they will trust you because you've done it for someone before, or you've done it before, okay? So that's just the effect of having real world experience, right? Now, how exactly does Amdari work, right? So we give you project-based experience. You get to work on at least 6 to 10 projects. So you can see the project Ibrahim presented, you will have at least 6 to 10 of those kinds of projects on your portfolio, on your CV. Like, it's going to reflect you not just as an entry-level professional, but you would be able to confidently say that I can do this, I can replicate this for your business. And trust me, the kind of opportunities you'll be getting will be a lot, right? And you're not working by yourself. You are learning to work in cross-functional teams with Amdari, right? And some of your project might require you, if you're a project manager or business analyst, you might need to work with other teams outside of the particular team you're in. You might need to work with the project managers, you might need to work with the business analysts, you might need to work with even the software developers, depending on the project, right? And you're gaining this experience, okay? And multiple industry experience too. Some projects, your first project could be in e-commerce, the second could be in finance and banking, your third could be in healthcare. I mean, this kind of project would expose you to a lot of industries because you're gaining experience across multiple industries. You're not confining yourself to just one industry. And what does this show? It shows recruiters that you are adaptable, right? So if you see a job posting and they're asking for a data scientist and they're still going as far as niching it down, you wouldn't have an issue because you have a project you've worked on before in that industry and you can apply for that role. So even if you're called up for an interview, you can defend the fact that yes, I am able to get this job done. Okay. And you're not going to be stuck in one niche. All right. You're developing versatile skills to make you a stronger job candidate. Okay. Now, I emphasize on the fact that you'll be working in team, you're collaborating, you're coming together with other people to discuss your findings, come up with solutions for business challenges, just like you would do in a real business setting. And it's not just 1, 2, 3 tech stacks you'll be working in. Some projects might require you to work on various tech stacks. That's why I said earlier that we're not training you. That's not what we are doing. We expect that you should have some kind of background knowledge in what you're coming into, right? Like my friend Nelson, as we started the conversation, he wants to become a data analyst, data scientist, and he already has that kind of he has trained and he's coming on, but we're not going to now train him. No. Instead, he would get the actual business real world project experience, right? And if he goes out to apply tomorrow, he would stand a chance to land the job. Okay. So you're going to be working across various tech stacks. And if it's a particular tech stack you do not have so much familiarity with, we have resources for you where you'd get to refresh your memory or just get that you just learn as soon as you can and solve your business challenge, or you get hands-on with your project. Okay. Now, teamwork and okay, I already mentioned that. Increased confidence for roles. I can't emphasize on this enough. The confidence you would have from doing something, it's going to be so obvious, glaringly obvious, because you can communicate clearly exactly what you've done. Okay. One of the biggest struggles job seekers face is lack of confidence during interviews. And I'm going to explain how our employability skills help with this, right? So it's not just you coming to learn. We're not just giving you the project-based experience, right? This employability skills also makes you employable, okay? So we are going to revamp your CV, all right? A lot of you are coming from a different technical background. We understand that. Maybe you were in sales or maybe you were in healthcare and you're trying to transition into tech. Obviously, you have some transferable skills from your previous work experience, and we're not going to trash that, okay? You are still going to use that in your current work experience with us. Would revamp your CV and make do of the necessary experience from your previous role that can be transferable to the role you are currently applying for, okay? You optimize your LinkedIn to make sure that you're reflected as an actual business professional, right? There are some of you that, I don't know, maybe you don't even remember the last time you checked your LinkedIn profile. And honestly, if you know how to position yourself on LinkedIn, trust me, you would be attracting opportunities. And I said attracting. I didn't say that you would be going out to get more opportunities. You'll be attracting it because your LinkedIn profile looks and portrays you as a business problem solver. Okay. Now, mentorship sessions, we have dedicated mentors for you, career coach. These people are experts in their field with at least 6 years of experience. So trust me that if you encounter any challenge, you have someone to reach out to. Okay, these are not just promises, right? Our intern was on board here. You heard him explain exactly how the end-to-end of his project went, right? So if you're coming on board like that, trust me, you're going to have that same confidence because he has presented this before. He understands how to create. Some of you don't even know how to create slides, which is very important because you would be doing a lot of presentations to stakeholders, right? And with Amdari, you're learning how to do these things. Okay, now career coaching, I already mentioned that we have dedicated specialist for you, and it's not one person that's mentoring everyone, not teaching, because we do not teach, right? It's not one person. You have dedicated mentors. Maybe you're coming on board for data science, you have a special mentor for you, or team lead, whatever the case is, career expert for you. Data analytics, the same thing, cybersecurity or SOC, GRC, whatever it is, right? And now, interview preparation. One of the biggest struggles job seekers face is lack of confidence during interviews. And it's not because they do not have the knowledge, mind you, but it's because they can't effectively communicate their experience in a way that impresses these recruiters. Okay. So at Amdari, we do not just give you technical skills. You're not just coming to brush up on your technical skills and get immersed in real world projects. We prepare you to confidently sell yourself in interviews, and you'd be able to position yourself as a top candidate for the role. Okay, right? Most job seekers, you struggle with the question, with the situation-based questions like, tell me a time you solved a real-world project problem. If you're coming on board with us, you're not going to have that kind of problem answering that questions because you won't be giving generic responses. Instead, you'll be giving responses based on the projects you've solved, based on the business challenges you solved. And how does this build your confidence? You're not guessing what to say. You are no longer guessing what to say. A lot of people lie during interviews, and trust me, you might think it's not obvious, but it is very obvious, right? And you have tangible experience to showcase. Okay, because that is exactly what we are giving to you, and your responses now sound more credible and data driven, and it's impressive because you sound like someone that has actually done this thing before. You're not sounding like an entry-level professional. Okay, that is exactly what we're giving to you. Job reference letter. It's worthy to note that Amdari is registered in the UK, and we're also registered in Canada. That means if you're in the UK, you're looking to get into the tech job market, would make your process, your entry-level process, seamless. Why? Because in the UK, they require you to have some kind of experience working with a UK-based organization before, and you're coming on board as an intern with us. You're already you're in the UK, right? You're gaining this experience. On your CV, it's going to show and reflect Amdari in the UK. Do you understand? And this job reference letter, you can ask us for it up until 2 years after your experience with us. For some people, they might still need some hand holding on the job support. Maybe they've landed their jobs and they still need us to hold their hands. We still do that for you. Okay. Now, this is just this is a sample of an optimized LinkedIn profile of our consultants. And one thing about LinkedIn is that positioning. Okay, a lot of people don't know that there are certain keywords you need to put on your profile that's going to make your profile outstanding and also pop up during searches, because sometimes these recruiters just go on LinkedIn and search data analyst, and it's just the people that pop up that they would actually check, because LinkedIn would recommend the top professionals, and the only way to recommend you is if your profile is optimized, right? So that's what we are going to do for you. Would optimize your profile so that you would attract these opportunities. And on the right is a revamped CV of our consultants, right? So this CV showcases her core skills, her soft skills, and also the business impact that she has been able to make career-wise. Okay, and we have a special we have an employability specialist that does this for you. So it's not even your team lead that will be doing this for you. Okay, now these are just testimonials of people in Amdari that have benefited either from the platform, from our internship experience. And if you fill the attendance form, you would have access to all these resources. So you can always click on this and you would go and watch these videos, because these are videos of them narrating their experience, how they've been able to benefit. You can see that Chidera landed an internship placement just because he started taking our program seriously. Okay, and we have this is just a tip of the iceberg. Just last week, one of our consultants also landed a role, and some of them have already started getting interviews, and it's not even up to 4 months into their program, because they are intentional and serious about their career growth. Okay, so how exactly does this internship experience work? We have business partners across various industries like the UK, US, and even Canada, right? These business partners give us their business projects, all right? So we now, once they give us this project, we assign it to you in teams. All right. So you're not working by yourself. I keep emphasizing on this. You're working with other teammates. You guys are coming together, collaborating, and coming up with findings. Okay. In this process, you are also learning. And you're learning as though you're learning from a real business setting, because this is exactly how it would look like in a real business setting. These are our consultants. They have stand-up meetings as you would in a real business setting. And also, you're dedicating at least 2 hours to your project. Okay, what does this mean? This means that your stand-ups could be bi-weekly. You're coming to see the status report of your project and how far the team has gone. But individually, you are dedicating 2 hours to make sure that you meet up with the timeline and deadline for your own project. Okay, so this project, you can add it to your portfolio, you can add it to your LinkedIn, and it will be added to your CV, because you are now solving real business problems. We're delivering you from the shackles of all those random projects, because you're solving real business challenges now. And trust me, for people that you don't need to be scared about our internship, honestly, right? Because you would learn so much from putting in your technical skills to solving real business problems. Okay, now we have a cohort starting in April and May cohort. And the special thing about this cohort is that we have our International Women's Day offer. Okay, and this is one offer that a lot of people, they've been waiting for this. We do this only once every year, and it is just an opportunity for people to get into the internship, right? Now, our prices are at the lowest it's ever been. Honestly, we've Amdari we've not sold this program at this price before. Okay, so this is because of the IWD discount, and you can only come into this program for April and May, right? So if you do not want to start in April, you can only defer your admission for May, right? So anything beyond that, you would be paying the actual amount. All right, so my colleague has dropped the link in the chat, but I'll give you more information about this internship and the pricing. Okay, so you can see that we have two packages, right? The 3 months and the 6 months package. The 3 months package means you'd come on board with Amdari and you're working with us for 3 months. Okay, and the pricing for that is £180, right? And this is literally 50% the actual amount, right? And you get to the best part about this offer is that for both the 3 months and the 6 months, you can spread your payments across 3 installments. Okay, so that is for the 3 months. Now, the 6 months internship experience means you're coming on board, you're working with us for 6 months, and you get to pay £280. You're spreading this across 3 installments too. Okay, now this is, I just keep saying this, if you want to get into this program and you are serious about taking your career to the next level, if you're like, just give me a thumbs up if you can't, you just want to come on board quickly. I'll show you how to make payments though. My colleague has dropped the link in the chat. Okay, so I would now love I just want to show you exactly how you are going to make payments. So nobody gets confused, nobody has any issues, okay? Now, you can see my screen, beautiful, beautiful women on my screen, because we are promoting the International Women's Day discount, okay? All right, I'll just love you guys to if you are here and you want to take advantage of this, and you're probably telling yourself, oh, Victory, I am not a woman, I am a man, I want to get into the program. Don't be scared. We have only 20 slots left for men, and out of that 20 that was opened up this month, 10 men have already secured their slots. So who would be the other lucky men to also get on board in the program? We are going to know very soon, okay? All right, so let's go with the let me just share my screen proper. Let me share my whole screen so you guys see everything from a bird's eye view, okay? All right, now I'm going to go with the 3 months plan, okay? So it's going to take you to our main stack account for you to make payments. All right, and with our platform, you can pay in whatever currency you want to pay in. For this, I am going to show you in pounds. All right, for my guys in the UK, this is also for you, okay? That doesn't mean Nigerians can, I mean, there are other currencies here, so don't be, you can, Nigerians, you can also take advantage of this, okay? So let's say I'm going for the 3 installments. I want you to understand what is happening here, okay? So this first one means you're paying a one-off payment of £180 for the 3 months installment, for the 3 months internship. This second one means you're paying a two installmental payment, and the third one means a 3 months installmental payment of £60 across 3 months to make up for your £180, okay? So I'm going to click on that and secure my slots. I'll click on proceed, and all you need to do is fill out your name, email address, and phone number, and you can go ahead to pay for the product. It is a very straightforward process, and you'd receive an email from us, okay? So I'll just want you to screenshot that email and make sure you fill the enrollment form, okay? So that enrollment form is what we'll use to get your information about this program, okay? So on this enrollment form, you would be able to, okay, my colleague, no, would give you the enrollment form after you've made your payments, right? And it's on that enrollment form that you'll be able to tell us whether you're starting in April or you're starting in May or whatever it is, okay? We are going to be taking questions soon, but before we start taking questions, I want to show you guys other perks you stand a chance to have access to just by coming on board with Amdari, okay? All right, now this is our job board. Honestly, we are dedicated to making sure that the process with your job, whatever job search, employment, whatever it is, we're trying to make that process as seamless and easy as possible, right? So this job board has a compilation of jobs across different platforms like GitHub, Career Builder, Well-Found, LinkedIn, and the rest of it. These are very, very interesting job opportunities in the career paths that we offer. All right, so you can see all these jobs are remote, okay, and some of them are full-time, some of them are part-time. You can see the pricing, you can see there are jobs in the UK, some of them are visa sponsorship jobs, and this you get to apply. Everything is in one spot, right? So you're applying to as many as possible, and applying for these jobs is one of the important things. As you're coming on board, you start applying as soon as your second month. It is part of your KPIs. It's one of those things we track, because you should be applying to at least 5 jobs every day, because application is actually a game of numbers, right? So it is as many as you apply to, and everything is quality from your project experience to your CV. So we are increasing your chances, okay? Another thing you have access to is our portfolio builder, okay? So this portfolio builder is where you get to showcase your project and what you've worked on, okay? You know, a lot of you generally you get to pay to have access to a portfolio. And even if you see some websites, they don't really have as much access, it's not so accessible. Okay, so with Amdari, just by virtue of being an intern with us, you have access to this. And it is very simple to, fill up this data here. You just need to fill a very simple form and edit your details, and voila, you're going to have access to this. You can tell us a bit about yourself, showcase the tools you're competent with, and also number of experience, total project. You can copy this link, add it to your CV. You can as well share it on LinkedIn and whatever platforms you want to share it on. Okay, all right, that is what we have for you. And imagine having the job board, you have the portfolio, you have your CV revamped, you have access to career experts and mentors, you also have the project-based experience. All this would make you stand out from a regular candidate that's just throwing applications around. Okay, so this time you are doing everything more strategically. Okay, all right, it's time for questions. It's time for questions. So if you have questions for me, now is the time. All right. Okay. You can give me, you can raise your hand so I see you and call you up to ask your question, or you ask your question in the chat. All right, Ikenna, you can go ahead with your question.
Okay, hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, my first question is, after the program, you mentioned about that we are going to be exposed on certain projects. Then when we finish the training program and then put it in our CV, where are we going to say that this is where we are working, this is where we got this project from?
All right, that is a very good question. Okay, so as you're coming on board, you're coming to Amdari as a consultant, right? That means you are working with projects across various industries, right? You know how consultants work is, okay? So as you're coming on board, it's going to reflect on your CV that you're a data science consultant with Amdari, okay? And you will now go ahead to describe the ways you've impacted various businesses under that. All right. So you're not mentioning it's Amdari that's going to be on your CV, right? You're not mentioning these other businesses that you solved problems for. Instead, you're just showcasing the business impact while you worked as a consultant with Amdari. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Do you have any other questions for me?
Yes, but the question I have is for the person, the intern that talked about this project. I don't know if he's still
All right.
around.
Okay, he's still here. You can go ahead with your question.
Okay. As regards to the pricing projects for a jewelry company, I would like to find out, because he mentioned about using machine learning model. So I would like to know the KPIs or the variables which he used for predicting the price of the jewelry.
Okay. All right. Ibrahim, do you want to go ahead with that, or do I go ahead to show him the project breakdown? Hi, Ibrahim. Can you hear me? Are you still here with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right. Do you want to go ahead with that?
Yes, I can show him, please.
All right. All right. Like, you want to share your screen, or you
Yes,
want to
I will
speak?
definitely.
All right.
I will definitely have to share my screen so that he will see
Okay.
what we used to carry out the prediction. Let me quickly share my screen.
All right. You can go ahead with that. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Ibrahim, you have another question in the chat, so you just keep that in mind. Someone says, a question for Ibrahim. He mentioned tracking the models after deployment. Can he explain more about that? So once you're done answering the first one, you can just chip in for the second question, okay?
It's okay. I'll do just that.
That's
All
great.
right.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Ikenna, if you are with me, you know, I wouldn't say they are KPIs. These are the features, the column names. These are the features that were used, these names. You can see them. Then I'll go on to the feature importance, showing us those features that contributed more. Now, it's important to say something here, you know, I wasn't going to discuss everything we did, but there's what we call categorical encoding we did on these features that we have here. There is categorical encoding, and the categorical encoding affected our category alias. If you look at this place here, you see that what we have in the feature importance, some of them are not there. That's because we carried out categorical encoding, like the category jewelry pendant. You know, these are category variables, and so they are more like data points. These are data points under the feature category. So these data points, we use our feature encoding to get all these features out. And of course, it is using your machine learning, that's the scikit-learn, because we use scikit-learn in this project. And so we invoke the categorical encoding, and then it brought out these features here. That is what happened. So it is your machine learning model that is able to bring this out. Once you can understand, you know, we have one-hot encoding, we have different kind of categorical encoding. We have several types, but the one we use here was more of the what do we call it now? It's from within the Pandas data, the Pandas data library. That's one of those things, one of the categorical encoding that we use to get this out. So I don't know if you still have any question or if this is clear to you. Just need to make this well explained. Is this clear to you, sir?
It's not really clear, because what I'm trying to figure out is that, you know, when we are making predictions, like for example, when you're discussing about the business case, maybe a business problem, for example, in this case now is the pricing. We're interested in the pricing. Now, there are some deliverables or variables which we use to predict the price of the jewelry. Now, out of these variables, I've understood you've been able to categorize them. Now, but my point is, you know, there's what we call causality in business analysis, because not all relationships are can actually give you a cause and effect relationship. You understand? So I really want to know how you're able to get this feature importance to derive, because when you're talking about a business problem, you might even have, especially when you're dealing with a large data set, you might even have like 1,000 variables you're dealing with. Now, in these 1,000 variables, how were you able to, you know, get what we call the feature importance, that's in the most important variables that are very, very important in predicting this price? Because I could just be analyzing every variable, but as a business, that's what differentiates us between the business analyst and the data analyst. The data analyst is more focused about analyzing data, but the business analyst understands the problem of the organization. Maybe the problem could be on customer satisfaction. Then he will find the variables that are related to the customer satisfaction to use to analyze the business problem. So in all this, he will now be able to carry out what you call the feature importance, to know the important variables that can predict this price and give the optimum price for the business. So I really want to understand how you are able to get this feature importance, which you use for this analysis.
All right. When you were talking, I quickly came to our feature correlation heat map here. And this is the feature correlation heat map. For instance, if you heard what I said earlier on, these variables, they have low correlation to the price in USD. So if, for instance, our features were far more than this number, and if our data set was kind of good for this model, because the data set, if you remember earlier on, I mentioned to us that if you look at the correlation, you see the correlation between this price and category. See the correlation, price and category, 0.2, which is very, very low. Check for other correlations with the price. This is another correlation. Let me use our target gender. You can see very, very low, 0.05. Now, because we had very low number of features, we did not decide to select some specific features and say these are the ones we'll go with and throw away some. We went on ahead to use all of them except SKU quantity. We remove this because this SKU quantity is 1 all through from our data set. It remains 1. This is the only one we dealt away with. And these are the ones we worked with. If you heard me, I had mentioned that we had done a bit of feature engineering to have the month and the day. So we carried out a feature engineering on the data in order to increase. The idea was to increase our model performance. That's why we carried out that particular feature engineering. So for us, we use all the available features, all the columns, except this SKU quantity, and of course, other ID, because they do not have any effect on our modeling. We threw away those ones. Whereas it is our model, after we use all of these features, it was still our model that provided or produced this feature importance at the end of the day. This one, we didn't select it ourselves. This is where we would have made our selection. This is actually the place. And that is why in our recommendation, we are saying that Gemini Emporium, please go ahead. It seems you may need to add more features, as many as possible. And then we're also advising Gemini Emporium and saying, Gemini Emporium, please look at the way you've been gathering this data. It seems you've not been gathering this data correctly. You may need to look at a better way of gathering this data, so that when you gather the data much more correctly, and even if you are having up to 50, 100 features, at the end of the day, this correlation heat map will help us to select, and of course, from our EDS, exploratory data analysis, we'll now know which features to choose in order to carry out our modeling. I don't know if I have answered that, sir, because this is how I understand what we selected in order to give to our model for us to get our prediction. Is that clear, Mr. Ikena, sir? Okay,
I have another question. Yes, your focus, this project is all about prediction modeling. So I would like to understand, because from my own little understanding, we have what you call the linear and non-linear models. So this project, is it all about linear modeling or non-linear modeling? What model did you use? And this model, can it be mathematically be represented?
All models can be represented mathematically, all models. And that is why Amdari is a place for internship. And the truth remains, all data scientists, you just need to understand the basic concept of your model. For instance, this is CatBoost. It's mathematics that was used to develop this CatBoost model. The same thing with Extra3's AdaBoost. We have several of them. Okay, let me go to where, okay, CatBoost linear regression, of course, we have linear regression. Linear regression is the most popular one that we are all aware of. So our model, of course, I need to make this clear. You know, for you to get good prediction, your model cannot be linear. The moment it is strictly linear, then you are going to have issues. And that is why for most models, especially models like CADBoost, AdaBoost, the mathematics involved in it makes, you know, before it can carry out modeling or before the modeling can be carried out, it is not you now that is doing it, it is the model. There has been non-linearity has already been introduced into the model itself before you can apply the model. And so if your interest is for you to go deeper and to study a model, which is mostly for people who are carrying out PhDs or researchers in modeling, because this is basically for researchers. But for the data scientists, for the machine learning engineer, for the artificial intelligence engineer, of course, not researcher now, they only use the model to give business solutions. And that is what we have done. I don't know if I'm answering you, sir.
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right. So that is the only thing we use the model, but it is advisable that you understand the mathematics, the underlying mathematics, or the underlying basics. Let me not be using mathematics, not to scare anyone. There is no, it's not about the mathematics. Without knowing anything, if you just open up your mind, I think you can learn to understand how some of these models, they operate. So I don't know if I have answered you. Let me answer the other question that was asked. But in case you still have, you could still say, but let me answer the other one. So for the person that asked of machine learning flow, I don't know. Because of time, I will not begin to show us how the ML flow is, the interface. Now, for each model, you see this model. After I've applied the model, I have applied all of the metrics onto the model. It is advisable that I apply, since we now have a machine ML flow, I apply the necessary, you know, it also comes with a dictionary, you know, you import the dictionary and then you follow what the documentation says in order for you to apply it to each of the model for you to properly track what the model is giving you. So I apply it to this CADBoost, apply it to linear regression, the same apply to all of these. Like I said, I use over 10 different models. And so for those 10 different models, I apply the machine learning, the ML flow to them for tracking. And the tracking at the end of the day, it is giving you your scores, this MAE, mean absolute error, root mean squared error, your R2 score. That is what it tends to give you for you to track, so that instead of having to come back again to want to look at, you want to retrain, because it takes time. Usually your model, when you are training your model, it usually takes a whole lot of time to train. And so, but when you track your model performance for a specific data set, just like for instance, this specific data set that we have from Gemini Emporium, if we have tracked it and the tracking is already stored in the ML flow interface, and if I add another different set of data and then train that data, I can still track that different set of data, and then I will have all the same information. But the information comes better than this. It comes with graphs. It comes with, there is what we call artifact, where you have your .pico. For anyone who has done machine learning, we have Pico file, and then a few other files which can be easily used for, you know, we have what we call containerization, in case anyone who doesn't know of that. But the ML flow will help you to easily carry out your containerization, and then it can also help you to carry out your deployment. This same deployment that I did here, you can use what your ML flow gives you to carry out your deployment. That is what the ML flow helps us. I'm just giving the basics of what ML, but it is useful for a whole lot of many things beyond this. I don't know if I have answered the
Thank
person
you
who has.
so much, Ibrahim.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for answering all the questions. I am not a data scientist, but to an extent, I kind of got what you were saying, right? So I believe he has been able to explain and properly answer some of the questions you had for him. Okay. And I love the fact that if we were to give him more time, trust me, Ibrahim would go on with the explanation. So imagine having Ibrahim on your team, right? If you come across any challenges, you have a teammate that you can always run to, and he would explain to you. So that's the perks of coming on board with Amdari. Okay, so I'm just going to be taking a few more questions. I want you all to fill the attendance form. It is very important. All right, so all the resources, if you want to go back and watch this session, if you want to have access to his project, whatever it is, you'll be able to do that as you fill the attendance form. So my colleague would drop that in the chat, and please fill the attendance. Okay, so do we have any other questions? Right, if you have any other questions, this is your chance to ask it. Maybe yeah, I'm going to take one question I saw in the chat. Right, so for every project there is a there's a document that conveys exactly what you need to do, right? So you're not just picking up a project and working on it randomly. Okay, so now I'm going to show you that of this particular project that was just presented. Okay, so in this document you get to see, let me put it in slideshow so you guys can see. Okay, so you can see that the tools used in this project was Python, MLflow, and Git. You can also see the okay, this is just about the project, what you are expected to learn at the end of the day. This is an introduction to the business. We may not give you as much information about them because at the end of the day, it's a real business and we are trying to, for reputational purposes, okay? But you are working on their business challenge. So at the end of the day, you are gaining hands-on experience, right? You don't need to know about them. You don't need to do, okay? So now the business problem, all right, and their obstacles, because this is going to give you an highlight of what exactly am I solving, how exactly am I supposed to solve it, right? So the rationale for cohort analysis. Now all this information would guide your project. Okay, you also this is still why jewelry price optimization with ML. You're just trying to understand the objectives of exactly what you're doing. And now the data description is here for you. Okay, project enhancement, how you can make the project even better, integrating MLflow, just like Ibrahim mentioned, and also Git. Okay, now the tech stack. This is all the tech stack that was used for this particular project. And if you are coming on board maybe as a data analyst, data engineer, whatever it is, you would also have all this kind of information considering any project you're working with. Okay, now you can see the scope of how this project was done, starting with the ingestion of data, then exploratory data analysis, feature engineering, and the rest of it. Ibrahim already explained all this process to us. Okay, so for those of you that still needed to understand how this is exactly this is what will be given to you. Okay, now this cuts across whatever industry, whatever career path you're coming into. All right, so if you encounter any challenge, you also have a team lead that's going to guide you. Okay, so let's take more questions. Right, we are getting towards the end of this. I would still nudge you guys to fill the attendance form. Okay, all right, so Ikenna, you have your hands raised. I don't know if you want to say anything or you have a question for me. Okay, if you're speaking, I can't hear you. Can you guys hear him? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear him.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear him. I can actually hear you.
Oh, that's
Okay.
fine. Hear him now. All right, you can go ahead with your question.
Okay, now if I'm to start with with this program as maybe I'm learning business analysis, and maybe another person is doing project management, are we all going to work on work with the same project, or we are going to be working with different projects?
All right. So if you're
Like,
coming
but for
on
example,
board,
now the way we are here right now, maybe in this meeting now, maybe 10 people joined. We have some people doing this analysis, some doing project management, and we started together. So when we start doing the project, are we going to be working on one project, the same project, or we'll be assigned to different projects?
all
I
right.
don't know if you know what
Let
I'm
me
saying.
quickly show you something. Okay. So if you're coming on board as a business analyst, some of your projects might require you to work with a cross-functional team, and I'm going to show you an example of that kind of project. Okay. So this project is an AI-powered platform project. All right. So for this project, it's required the business analysts to come together with the project managers, the web developers, and even the UI UX designers. Okay, and this is a real platform. It's going to be live very soon, I think in a month or less. Okay, so what kind of challenge were they solving? Okay, they were trying to bridge the gap between job seekers and employers, right? So this is an AI powered platform that helps both the job seeker and the employer, right? Let's say you're an employer, you're looking for a perfect candidate. You come on board with Hiresense, you search for whatever you're looking for, and also these job seekers are on the same platform, right? So it kind of brings you guys together, and this is through recommendation from AI, right? And AI is the next big thing, especially for people going into tech. So if you're having a project that has AI on it, you are going to turn the head of any recruiter and you're going to grab their full attention. Okay, so you can see the business problem of this project. This what you do as a business analyst, you definitely develop the personas. Okay, you develop that of the recruiter, right? You can see here, and you'd also develop that of the job seeker. Okay, now as the business analyst, you're coming up with the MVP expectations too, as you know, right? So this same project, the project managers know exactly what they'll be doing. They'll be guiding you guys through the same project. And also it is a cross-functional project. You will now come together maybe for your stand-ups. I'm not sure if this was a bi-weekly stand-up for this project or whatever, but some of your stand-ups could be every day depending on the intensity of your project, or maybe bi-weekly, 3 times a week, or whatever the case may be. So all of you would come together and be aware of the status report of your project. Now, on a personal level, you now need to dedicate at least 2 hours to your project, right? Because this project has a timeline. You can see here that the timeline for this particular project is 12 weeks. Okay, because this is a whole platform. They built it from scratch, right? And this is just when it will be deployed. Okay, so you can see the breakdown of how this project is going to look like, and also your deliverables for this. Okay, all right, that is for that. And also there are other you'll be working on multiple projects in that same vein. Okay, so yes, some of your projects will require you to work with a cross-functional team. As you're a business analyst, you would work with other people too. Okay, does that answer your
All right.
question? Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so you're coming on board as a business analyst, right?
Yes.
Okay, is it the 3 months or the 6 months?
I want to even if it's possible to run it in a month, because basically the truth is I have my MSc in management with business analytics. So most of the things we are talking about here, I've done them. I know them very well. Even this machine learning model, I know it. In fact, that's what I did in my project. I compared different models in my project. You understand? But the challenge I'm having is that when I'm applying to jobs, so they keep trying to find out where I've worked, asking me about experience where I've worked. And the way I'm working right now, what I'm doing, I work in an ATM manufacturing company. So what I'm doing is basically more of engineering because I have engineering background in Nigeria. You understand? But I want to get a job with what I did in my master's. You understand? Why I impact on this one I'm doing right now is because I am building a company too. I'm building a company in Nigeria. So, and I want to do something related to engineering in Nigeria. So, and I feel I've finished what I'm doing. I've gotten the knowledge that I need to get here in the UK, the engineering experience. So that's why I want to transition to business analytics, which I did in my master's program. So I'm having a little bit challenge in transitioning because when they ask me what is your working experience, and I don't know how to tell them, because if I tell them I work at TestLink, what I'm doing in TestLink is not related to business analytics. So that's why I'm asking you, if I finish this program now, what am I going to put in my CV? You understand that this is where I've learned some projects, or where I've worked with some projects.
All
So
right.
I already know the skills. I already know the skills, everything about this business analysis. I know them. I know how to use R programming. I know how to use SQL. I know all this. But my problem now is where will I say this is where I've worked to acquire some project experience concerning
You
business
are
analytics.
working with Amdari as a business analyst consultant. Okay? So on your CV, your experience is with Amdari, right? That experience that recruiters are asking you, oh, where have you worked with? You worked with Amdari as a consultant. That means you were able to solve business challenges for different businesses. And then you now highlight the business impacts you were able to make for each of these businesses. That is what I explained to you before. So I'm just going to iterate on that. Okay. So that way it would convey that you've done this thing before, right? And you might feel, oh, where you're coming from, you don't have any experience that's relating to what you want to go into. But the truth is, there is what we call transferable skills. You may not know it yet, but when you have a session with our employability specialist, she's going to open your mind to a lot, right? You get to realize that, oh, in as much as the title didn't seemingly correlate to what you're trying to transition into, but there were some skills you used for that particular role that could still be necessary in the new role you're trying to transition into. That way, it's not just Amdari you'll be having on your CV, okay? Because if you just have one, on your CV, it's going to kind of look like, you're just coming in, you don't have as much experience. Let's say you even have up to 5 years experience from the previous industry you're coming into. You have transferable skills. So when we are revamping your CV, we make sure that we're not throwing away your previous experience, okay? We're still going to leverage on that plus the additional Amdari experience, right? So what you're having on your CV is Amdari, and we're registered in the UK, we're registered in Canada, right? So you're gaining extra UK experience to what you already have. And that way, transitioning is not going to be a problem for you because you're working in the capacity of a business analyst with Amdari, business analyst consultant with Amdari. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. So I believe since you're looking for a kind of quick, run through, the 3 months program would suffice for you. Okay.
All right.
Yes. All right. So my colleague has dropped the link in the chat and you can go ahead. Okay. Are you joining us for April or May? Let me just take notes of that.
I would like to join this April.
All right. Okay. You need to go ahead and take advantage of the 50% discount because the discount is just for this month, right? So you can register and would onboard you. So you'd be one of the 20 men that we're opening slots for. Okay. Congrats. And just check the chat. You'd see the link. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Ikenna. Do you have any other questions? We'd have to proceed to the next person.
I'm okay.
All right, that's great. All right, Ifeoma, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and speak to us. Okay.
Hi, Victoria.
Victory.
Victory,
Yes.
actually. I actually wanted to ask about the payment, and I think you just mentioned it.
All
I would
right.
like to join for. First of all, is subsidiary of Analytics. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I actually started my journey, my data analytics journey with Analytics, and that was in 2022, I guess. Okay, I would like to join for May.
Okay.
But I, listening to what you said now, I will have to make payment this month,
Yes.
and then make another payment by April.
Yes.
Okay, and when I finally join the class, then I have to make
Come.
the third payment. Will that be at the end of May?
Okay, let me just show you something real
Because
quick.
we live on pay. How will I put it now? Your take home these days. It's not as if you have
Okay.
one money lying down somewhere that you just go and pick and pay.
You get to make your payment every ending of a particular month. Like
Okay.
it counts. Okay. So if you secure your slot today, your
Mhm.
next slot you would need to complete your payments next month. Then the last one would now be the following month, right? So it is 3 installmental payments across 3 months. You're not paying except you have the money to pay twice for a particular month. I mean, you can go ahead and do that. But if you're going for the 3 months payment, that means you're spreading your payment across 3 months, right? So the 180 pounds, you're paying it across 3 months. That's 60 pounds right now on this call. Then the next 60 pounds by next month, same period. That means there's a 1 month span, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to confirm. So that's not when you join
Exactly.
the course, somebody start telling you that you have to
No.
pay in 2 days time unless your name will be struck out and all that.
No, no, no. It's actually automatic. Okay. So it's counting your month, right? And you get a reminder when it's time to make your next payment. So it's not like we are, it's not it's measured. Okay.
Because I'm actually interested in the documentation. That's where I'm having a little bit of hitch. I have so many things I've done, but documenting it and putting it out where I'm having issues. So
All right. I believe my colleague wants to say something. Ozichi, do you want to say
Yes.
something?
Yes, I believe what the former asked was she wants to see if she can the payment is recurrent any time of the month. Okay, so if you make your payments now, next month you are going to be paying again on the 14th. Okay, so if you want to make your payments ending of the month when you know you're going to be receiving your remuneration, okay, you may do that maybe on the 27th, 26th when you know that your salary is coming, so that that particular time of the month, that is when your next payment is going to be taken. Do you get?
do you want me to wait till 27th of this month before I make any payment?
Now you ask question based on your salary. Okay. If you make payments now,
Mhm.
next month on the 14th is when you have to renew your payment. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. That is automatically in a month's time. So are
Yes.
you saying
Yes. A month's
I should
time.
wait
Yes.
till the end of this month?
That yeah, you
No.
can. You can if you want to. I just want to let you know so that you don't get confused if you make your payments now and next month you receive a mail that they are expecting you to pay another one on the 14th of next month. Do you understand? I just want to
Oh,
make that clear. Yeah.
okay, I get you. All right. Okay. Since it's
Okay.
automatic,
Um,
okay. Thank you.
Ivoma, let me show you something. Let me just show you something real quick. Let's say I'm going for the 3 months, right? If you click on the link that my colleague dropped in the chat, it's going to take you to let me just share my whole screen so you get a bird's eye view of what I'm presenting. Okay. All right. So if you click on that link, it's going to take you to this platform after the first platform. Okay. Now you can see here, let's pick pounds. Let's pick pounds, right? GPB, and let's go for the 3 months, right? You click on secure. I want to show you this, okay? So you're making your payment today. According to what my colleague said, because it's a monthly installmental plan, monthly, meaning that after a month, 30 days, right? So it could be if you're making today, your next payment will be due April 14th. That's exactly 1 month from today. And your final payment will now be in May 14th, another month from April, right? So it's a monthly installmental payment, right? And if it's something that you would need to always drop money down for at the end of the month, you can secure a slot now, right? And know that by the 14th of next month, you'd have to make another payment. Okay. So it's not like it's something that would just come chasing you unnecessarily, or maybe when it's not time for your payment, would start looking for you. Okay. It's automatic.
Yeah,
Your
I
billing
just said
period
so.
is automatic. Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So the link is in the chat. All right. So it can, I believe you. Okay. Ifoma, are you good? Can we go to the next?
Yes, I'm good.
question?
Just put the link in the WhatsApp. I think
All
there's
right.
a community
So
there, yeah.
please fill the attendance form so someone can reach out to you too. Every other person on this call, you have a question or whatever it is, you can fill the attendance form. Okay. All right. Anne, I believe you want to say something. Okay. Hi, Anne.
Hello,
Hi.
good evening. It's nice to
Hi.
be here. I'm just joining.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this your first session with us?
Yeah, somehow.
Okay. You've gained a tech skill, right?
No.
All right. Okay. Apparently, Amdari, we give you real world experience by immersing you with real business problems and challenges. So you're solving projects, you're working on projects from real businesses, okay? And one major criteria for being a part of this program is that you have previous knowledge and skills on the particular career path you're looking to coming into, okay? So Anne, I'm going to recommend that if you're interested in getting into tech, you're trying to, brush up on your skills and, gain very relevant skills. My colleague will drop a link in the chat. Our sister company, Tenalytics, you'll be able to gain training with them because we don't train, okay? So that is just the scope of things, all right?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You can still listen in and understand more about the platform because we've been here for over an hour already, okay? So I don't want us dragging like the rest of the people back, okay? Thank
No
you so much.
problem. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Let me just take a look in the chat. All right. Do we have any other questions, please? If you have a question, you can still answer it. Let me call names. Hi, Nelson. Nelson, you've not said anything to us since we started.
No,
Are you still here with us?
yeah, I've been paying attention and it's very interesting.
All right, lovely. So, in the beginning, I told you that it's going to be worth your time, okay?
Yes.
So, are you coming on board with us?
I will, but not immediately.
All right, so that means May.
Yeah, maybe May. Yes.
All right. Have you filled the attendance form though?
Yes, I have.
All right, lovely. Okay. Who else? Do we have any other questions? Tosin, I saw some of your chats. Are you good? Do you have a question? Are you confused on anything? Temitope, Sunday, we're almost rounding up, so I want to hear from you guys finally before we call it a night or morning or afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. All right, okay. So I'll just believe that. All right, Tosin is good. Tosin, are you coming on board with us? Give me a thumbs up if you're coming on board with us. Okay. All right. So please go ahead. All right, she has raised her hand, so she's coming on board. Lovely. I'm excited to get information like this. Okay, I love intentional professionals actually. All right, so we've come to the end of this session. I mean, if it was an interesting session for you, if you gained something from today's session, can you give me a thumbs up? Just give me a thumbs up if you learned something from today's session. Give me a thumbs up. All right, lovely. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for taking out time to join us this evening, right? And it's always interesting listening to you guys, your questions, listening to my interns speak, and the rest of it's always a very interesting time. Okay, so I'm just going to nudge you to fill the attendance form. Very important. If you've not filled it, I'll just give you like 3 seconds before we end the call to fill it, please. It's very important. And also, I'm going to bid you guys a very wonderful Friday evening. Okay, so have a great one. All right, thank you for taking our time to join us, and at this juncture we're going to call it a night. All right, so good night, bye bye.